Hello and welcome to the James Granström Podcast, Super Soul Model Series, where I help you tune and tap into your natural state of well-being. Today, I have an incredible show lined up for you, and it is 3 ways for you to get into the zone and improve peak performance. If you're new to the podcast, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. And if you're returning to the podcast and you enjoy its content, please help the show and help it grow by leaving a review at Apple, because when you leave a review, you're actually helping this podcast get out into the hands of people who need it most. So I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have left reviews, because you're really helping this get out into many more people's hands who really need well-being. So today's show is all about how to get in the zone for peak performance. Your ability to influence people, whether it's in sport, life or business, or just in your intimate relationships, is based on one thing: whether you're in alignment or the zone or not. And when you're not in alignment, your ability to influence is diminished in comparison with your ability to influence other people when you're in that zone. And so athletes that are in that zone, so to speak, which is called the gamma brainwave, which is about 35 hertz. This brainwave has an incredible power attached to it, because you're able to solve problems at a really high level. It's almost as if everything is right time, right place for you. So whenever you're stressed out and there's too much tension on you, you're not in the zone. And so the more time that you can spend practicing getting in the zone for peak performance, the more time you get accustomed to it. It's almost like exercising that muscle, and getting in the zone is like exercising a muscle, and it takes real skill, it takes real awareness, and it takes real focus. And I want to share you 3 ways in which you can do it to cultivate that brainwave activity, to cultivate that zone in your life, so that you could do it not only at home or in your business, but also on the playing field. So sport is a wonderful metaphor for life, because sport is a game, very much like life. Life is a game, and life is a game of choices. And the better you do is dependent upon the choices and the decisions that you make. Yet in life, winning the game of life requires awareness, requires heart, requires soul. And the same is applied when you are looking to win or succeed in sports. So you can't win in life if you can't understand the rules in which you have to play it. In this episode, I want to share with you 3 techniques that will help you enter the zone, or help you enter what is known as the gamma brainwave activity, which is about 35 hertz, so that you can enjoy peak performance. Peak performance is something that you have to practice. It's not something that you get once in a while. Like anything, the better you get at something, the better you practice something. Perhaps it's meditation. The more you practice meditation, the easier it is for you to fall into that deeper blissful state. It's the same in sport. The more you hit the ball, or you practice kicking the ball, or whatever it is you're doing in sports, whatever sports you play, the more you practice, the better you get. And this is the same for getting in the zone. And most people can have natural talent, but they might not have the mindset to go with that. And the mindset that gets people always over the line and succeeding and doing some of the most incredible things is because their mind enters peak performance, aka the zone. And that's what I want to share with you: 3 techniques that you can do today in order to begin to practice this in your daily life. Now, when you enter the zone, that mental state of utter clarity, what happens is everything you do from this mental space is something of good choice making, of good decision making, because you're relaxed, you're not tense. It's always funny to notice that anytime you make bad decisions, it's because you're tense, or you're out of alignment, or you're feeling erratic, or you just do something. And what happens is anything that you do from this place of feeling high intensity or high pressure, but feeling not relaxed at all, anything you do from this space is going to be detrimental or diminished with your ability from what you can do on the opposite of that, which is when you're in the zone. Because when you're in the zone, everything seems bigger and slower. It's like the whole world slows down for you and you see all the possibilities. It's a bit like that film Limitless, where you just see possibility after possibility. Now, practicing this brainwave state is highly addictive and it feels really, really good. It's like you're tapping into your own natural high. And I've experienced this several times, and the reason why I'm doing this episode is because I've replicated it a few times and I'm still looking to keep practicing it over and over again. And if you can take these techniques that I'm going to share with you today and put them into your own experience, whether it's in sport, life, or business, you will notice that you will start to subtly enter into this peak performance zone of mind. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not qualified. I just have experience, and experience is what counts here. But I am someone who plays a lot of sport. I play a lot of paddle. I play a lot of tennis. I thoroughly enjoy sport, but I really enjoy understanding how the mind works, how we can operate at the highest possible level. I'm fascinated by that and have been for literally years. And I want to share with you these techniques so that you can begin to apply them yourselves and get great success, because success will be the byproduct of you getting in the zone. Now, when you're competing in sport, there's always us versus them, or you versus me. But in spiritual truth, there is only I am. There is only the I am that is here. Now, what does that mean to you? It will probably mean nothing to you unless you've done deep meditation, because in deep meditation, you realize that there is only the I am that is left. Now, Eckhart Tolle talks about this in greater detail in his book, The Power of Now. And the more you begin to enter the present moment, what happens is you begin to experience the non-resistance or the total acceptance of what's happening in this very moment. Now, this is very powerful when you're playing sport, because when you're under high pressure, when you are really facing real high levels of challenge, to be able to turn it around is the exact opposite of what often we do as human beings, which is react. If you want to discover your real power, then your ability to influence from this headspace, from being in the zone, from entering this gamma brainwave frequency, you're going to realize how powerful you are, because your influence is natural, because you're energetic. It's almost as if what you're resonating, everybody else is picking up. So it only takes one person on the field or on the court to be deeply in this zone to highly influence everybody else around. So that's why the power of one person can make such a magnitude of a difference on a football field or on a tennis court or in a team game or whatever. And that person wants to be you. So the more you practice getting in this state, the better you will feel, and the byproduct of the way you feel will be natural success. Now, how do I know that, and how can I say that? Because I've replicated it several times. Now, am I a master at it? No, but I love to keep practicing it, so I exercise the muscle so that my brain knows what state of mind I'm going to get into when I step on the court. So what are the three techniques? The first technique that is really powerful for you entering the zone is to be totally and utterly present. Now, how do you do that when you're experiencing adversity, when you're experiencing tension? Maybe this is on a sports field, maybe this is in your life, or maybe this is in business. The way that you begin to enter the present moment that I've discovered is by focusing on one point for an elongated period of time. Now, whatever your surroundings are, pick a spot and hold it for 20 seconds, stretch that to 30 seconds, stretch it to a minute, and then refocus and move your eyes again back to wherever you're at and whatever you're focusing on. Each time that you focus on a singular spot, what happens is your mind is directly tunnel visioning everything else out of the equation and only focusing on one spot. Now, as I'm doing this video and as I'm doing this podcast, I'm focusing on one spot only, which is the lens. So I'm talking to you directly. Now, if I were to focus on anything else, that would divert my attention. So whatever you're focusing on, make it one clear spot. This will help you enter tunnel vision and slow everything else around you down, like the light spectrums or whatever you're focusing on. Now, When I play tennis, I always focus on a spot, and then if I'm waiting to receive a ball, then I go back at the last minute just before they play to see the bigger picture of where the server could be serving to me. So why would I do this? I do this because I want to be singular in my attention to what's coming at me, and then I can avert my awareness openly. It's almost like I'm opening an aperture to let more light in, so I receive more data. This helps me enter that gamma brainwave pattern. I've done it time and time again when I'm receiving in tennis or when I'm about to serve. Now, where could you do that in your life? Where could you pick a spot every single day and look at a dot on the wall or look at a leaf on a tree? This is a meditation, but it's an active meditation. And it slows the mind down, the chitter chatter, the monkey mind in the background, so that you can enter the present moment. This is incredibly powerful, and the more you do it, the more your mind will get used to entering a deeper state of mind, or should I say in this case, it will be a faster brainwave activity, but allowing more data for you to receive and then being able to make better choices from this. When I was preparing this podcast, I came across a documentary about the New Zealand All Blacks, and when they lost to France, they hired a sports psychologist to help them win the next game because they realized they had the natural talent, but they lost their nerve at the end of the game, which cost them qualifying through to the semi-finals against France. After they lost, they know that they had to have a good look at themselves, and they hired a sports psychologist which told them to get themselves into this state of mind when they were up against it, when they were challenged, so they would be mentally prepared for it. So there were a few ways they could anchor themselves into the present moment when a situation was highly stressful. And one of the ways they do it was perhaps looking at the scoreboard, perhaps looking at the post, definitely putting their feet firmly in the ground so that they can feel the energy pulsating from the base of their feet up their legs, so that they could be more present. So that's more of a kinesthetic thing. Looking at the post or the score is a visual representation or a visual anchor, very much like picking a dot or a spot on the wall where you want to hit the ball. That is a visual anchor where you want to place the ball, what your outcome is. Now, this is extremely powerful, and one person I know who does this extremely well is Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic does this time and time again, and I have gone through so many interviews and watched so many matches of his, of where he manages to do this time and time again. And I'm always massively intrigued that success leaves clues. And if you look at Novak, he picks his spot and then manages to widen the aperture of his iris by taking in more of the awareness of what's happening in the moment when someone's about to serve to him. The decisions that you make time and time again is what will help you succeed, because success is a byproduct of the best choices that you have available to you in every given moment. And so whatever your circumstances are, keep practicing and choosing choices that allow you to be more present. Now, the second technique is by being non-judgmental about what happens next. Whatever you do, in order to enter the zone, you have to be totally non-judgmental. Now, in meditation, and some of the Buddhist monks, like the Shaolin monks, they all talk about non-judgment. And this is what the Buddha mind is all about. It's basically being totally focused, but yet totally a clean slate. So whenever you're non-judgmental about whatever happens on sport or on the court, or whatever you're doing at home or in business, whenever you're being non-judgmental to yourself or to another, what happens is you stop the ego's incessant need for chatter, which means I'm right, you're wrong. And as soon as you become non-judgmental, it frees up a lot of energy and frees up a lot of mental energy for you to be totally clear about what to do next. This technique of being non-judgmental is extremely powerful, and I've noticed in tennis time and time again, particularly when I've been playing doubles. So if I play a great shot, there's no reaction. If my partner plays a great shot, there's no reaction. If my partner plays a bad shot, there's no reaction. There's just total non-judgment. And if I play a bad shot, there's non-judgment. But usually what happens with total non-judgment is total acceptance. And when you're totally accepting for what is, you free up that energy. You free up any tension. So to enter this flow state, to enter this zone of peak performance, when your brain is operating at a super fast speed and is processing everything at like fiber optic speed, what's happening is that it's slowing everything else down with you. It's releasing and relinquishing all tension inside of your body. Because when you're in this zone, what's happening is your body's relaxed, yet you're able to process everything so quickly. Your brain is like the supercomputer, and you're able to make things look bigger, and you're able to see opportunities that when you're tense, you just cannot see. So practicing non-judgment will help you enter that zone. So as you go about your day today, try being non-judgmental about everything and everyone or any information that you come across. Because as soon as you become judgmental, what happens is you start to bring more tension into the body and into the mind. So when the mind is clear, the body will have more energy. And the third technique that will help you is total compassion for yourself and for everyone. Now, this is quite similar to non-judgment, but compassion and love and appreciation and gratitude for just being there in the moment, getting to play, whether it's in your life, whether it's in your business, or whether it's on the court, wherever you are, having that compassion for yourself and other people, and no me versus them. It's really just you against you, and it's all about you getting in the zone. Now, if you can play the game of, yes, I want to play the game, I want to play this sport, but it's all about me wanting to enter this zone, because success will be the byproduct of you entering this zone if you've got the natural abilities to know what game you're playing. So if you're already playing a sport that you've been playing for years and you want to become better, entering this state of mind is going to take you to the next level. This mind space of total clarity, of total alignment, of this 35 gamma hertz, when that brain is really processing everything so quickly, which helps you be in the right place at the right time. So what would this technique look like if you were on the court or on the field? It would look like you enjoying yourself. It would look like you having gratitude for being able to play. And it is an emotion. It is not so much something that you do. It's an emotion that emits from you. It's the joy of playing. It's the joy of participating. And that combined with non-judgment and being able to be totally focused on the point of what you're trying to achieve or where you're trying to place the ball over and over again will help your mind enter this deeper state or faster state where you're processing everything so much quicker than anything else you've ever done before. The tunnel vision that you get into is what helps you get into this space. It will create like a steamroller effect on everything that you're doing, because your mind is operating at a higher speed than everybody else's that you could be playing with, as long as you can enter this really focused state of alignment. So these three techniques can really help you in life and business. Can you focus? Can you be non-judgmental? And can you show up with a state of love, gratitude, and enjoyment to whatever you're doing? And the more that you can practice that, the more success will be the byproduct, because the way you feel and the higher you go naturally, which are these chemicals released inside of your body, these love chemicals, these oxytocins, this serotonin, these dopamines, are the result of your ability to focus, make good choices, be non-judgmental, and be in a state of awe, wonder, gratitude, and appreciation. Can you practice this? Yes, you can. So if you've got any questions on today's podcast, hit me up over on Instagram at James Granström, or wherever I am on social at James Granström, and let me know what your questions are. I'd love to hear your feedback, because these techniques, if you apply them over and over again, will be so powerful in helping you reach a higher level. Ultimately, we're always trying to realize our unlimited potential, and this is one way to take you there. but it will take practice, it will take skill, and it will take awareness, and it will take repetition over and over again on top of your natural talent. So I wish you great success. Until the next episode, I wish you a wonderful week ahead, and green lights all the way.